What's up, guys? Your boy, 22K13. I'm going to talk about 6 ups and downs from last night's WWE Raw. And this is coming from WhatCulture.com. If it feels like WWE just had a go-home Raw for a pay-per-view a couple weeks ago, you're not dreaming or experiencing deja vu. It's just WWE cramming 4 special events into 7 weeks, with the third offering, Elimination Chamber, hitting the WWE Network this coming Sunday. But if this was a hard sell for the network exclusive event, then it left something to be desired. WWE has been churning out better programming lately, but it still has plenty of stumble along the way. Monday night episode of Raw featured some solid segments, but also some head-scratching moments. Fan favorites were made to look like chumps. The WWE obsession with celebrity took center stage once again, and the hard sell for one of the signature matches at Elimination Chamber looked like it was booked on a cocktail napkin. Still, fans have a WWE World Heavyweight Championship title match that could easily steal the show, with one of the company's most underrated stars getting a chance to shine, and a brash NXT star has stepped out of a little pond and into the ocean to see if he can swim with the sharks. All that make for what should be an enjoyable pay-per-view Sunday. So did Raw get the job done? Did it drive fans to tune in Sunday? Or will they be busy washing their hair? Let's find out. The down. Number 8. Less jingoism, please. No matter how patriotic you are, any American watching Raw Monday night has to feel like short of breaking out the red, white, and blue, red, green rope, and bunting. WWE went a little over the top with a Memorial Day tribute. Fans were greeted by a 1982 speech from President Reagan about Memorial Day, with WWE superstars like John Cena, the Bella Twins, primetime players Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, and Alicia Fox reciting pieces of it. Then we got a 10-bell salute to open Raw. It's true that those of us who are Americans should treat this holiday with a great deal of respect and honor those who died while serving our country in the military, but WWE always seems to push it as far as possible. We all understand that Memorial Day is important, and we appreciate the fact WWE reminded us of the purpose of the holiday, but Vince McMahon's brand of patriotism is always over the top and almost feel forced, where a simple salute will do. We get a star-spangled firework display while draped in the flag. Sometimes less is more and feel more honest and natural. Number 7. A deserving competitor. On Monday, R-Truth got squashed like a bug by Rusev, losing in less than a minute. For the year, Truth had lost more than twice as many televised matches as he won. 5 of his 7 wins have come against the hapless duo of Stardust and Curtis Axel, so explain again why he won a 6-man in Sunday Elimination Chamber for the vacant Intercontinental Championship. It's clear that Truth is in there to serve as cannon fodder, but anyone else could have played that role. That spot could have gone to an NXT star, or WWE could have brought back a former IC champ on a one-shot deal. Imagine the reaction of if Rob Van Dam returned for one night only. Or they could have brought Rhino up from NXT to get the rub of hanging with the big boys before returning to NXT. Maybe that's not the best use of RVD or Rhino, but if you're going to stick Truth in there, you might as well get creative and explore other options. Number 6. Inconvenient faces. Try as WWE might, but a large segment of the fan base would never buy the Bella twins as faces. The sisters have been doing the mean girl act for so long that even they don't know how to act like faces. During a door match between Paige and Tamina, the Bella provided commentary, emphasizing on the quotation mark. Both sisters were wooden and sounded like they were just reading cue cards, a bad sign for the faces of your diva division. Bree set up with a softball about being barred from ringside last week and forced by Stephanie McMahon to attend counseling. Ignore the opening to show anger and call the therapy very enlightening. Wrap your head around that one. Stephanie tormented Bree and her husband Daniel Bryan to the point that Bella quit. Then reignite that feud by preventing Bree from going to ringside and forcing her to get counseling immediately. And Bree isn't pissed. Number 5. This isn't wrestling. One other thing that has aided Raw recently has been quality matches that draw cheers, and this is awesome chants from fans. Monday night did not provide opportunity for fans to fire up those chants. In fact, the action in the ring was dull and forgettable. With only 8 matches in 3+ hours and 6 of them clocking in at 4 minutes or less, it wasn't a good night for work rate fans. Even human highlight reel Neville was kept mostly grounded, selling a knee injury throughout this short match. The main event was a 10-on-3 handicap match that lasted less than a minute and ended in a DQ. Sure, not every episode of Raw can deliver matches that earn a standing ovation, and sometimes you need to focus more on storyline advancement than in-ring action. But as Arn Anderson famously bundled, it says marquee on the wrestling. Number 4. Kryptonite for the Superman punch. This might sound a little crazy, but it might be time for Roman Reigns to retire or temporarily discontinue his Superman punch. The move is becoming less and less effective each week, and the setup cocking his fist and slamming it on the mat draw boos, even when he otherwise being cheered. When Reigns began using the punch, it basically knocked someone silly and was viewed as a great high-impact move. Since WrestleMania, however, where he hit Brock Lesnar multiple times with a Superman punch, Reigns hasn't really knocked anyone out with it. In fact, he has to hit some people multiple times to knock them down. How is that making your big move special? A Superman punch that can't knock Kane down isn't very super. The other part of it is the cocking of the fist, which Reigns didn't always do. When he first did it, it looked cool. That he was loading up. Now he recocked the fist if he hitting multiple Superman punches. Did Shawn Michaels tune up the band every time he hit Sweet Chin music? It become hokey after a year of doing it. At this point, it would probably be helpful if he stopped doing the punch for a bit, unless he's going to start KOing people with it. Otherwise, it's just a punch. Number 3. All over the map. In some ways, Booker T is a breath of fresh air on commentary. As Jerry Lawler has grown stale over 20+ years, Booker isn't cut from the cloth of WWE prototypical announcers. He sounds different and speaks frankly, which is appreciated. At the same time, he also speaks in circles at times and contradicts himself or just confuses everyone listening to him. Monday, Booker started railing against Lana during Rusev's match against R-Truth. He said that the ravaging Russian should have knew her role, which drew an audible groan from Michael Cole, who quickly changed gears and deflected. Later, when Lana came out at Rusev's request, Booker urged her to give him a second chance. Moments later, he yelled out for Lana not to trust what Rusev was saying. Later, Booker started chirping about Lana coming out during Dolph Ziggler's match, saying she shouldn't be out there. Can anyone determine where Booker stands with Lana breaking off her relationship with Rusev? There are going to be growing pains in allowing Booker to call matches live on Raw. He does bring a good perspective and sometimes has a gem on commentary, but it's stuff like this that have to drive WWE crazy. Number 2. Tag teams in turmoil. What originally seemed like an interesting concept for an Elimination Chamber match has become an utter mess. It still might be a really entertaining bout, but the WWE Tag Team Championship match inside the chamber has been poorly built up, despite being the first match announced for the pay-per-view. The six-team chamber match has led WWE to trot out Los Matadores, The Ascension, and primetime players to fill the chamber pod. In trying to promote the match the past 2 weeks on Raw, WWE has had all 6 teams engaged in one big brawl in and out of the ring, ending with wrestlers diving onto each other. The part that stinks is that not only could the match be really good, but Champ the New Day are on a roll and getting themselves over as frauds. A well put together chamber match could do wonders for the tag division, but if the past 2 weeks are any indication, it could be a crapshoot. Number 1. Long Island Loser. WWE made a big deal about Monday being the last WWE event at Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, New York. The arena is being torn down. Raw tipped its hand at one point by having the cast of Entourage head into Zack Ryder's dressing room. A Long Island native, Ryder surely had to fidget into Raw at some point. That point came during the John Cena U.S. Championship Open Challenge, when Long Island IC answered the challenge. Ryder gave it a go, getting in a ton more offense than he usually does in televised matches, which is often none, but ultimately he missed a 450-degree splash and lost. Wait, reread that. Ryder went for a 450 splash. Did anyone know he had that in him? To make matters worse, Cena pulled Ryder up after beating him and raised his arm to stoke in some cheers from the Lee faithful. So how was this helpful in any way? Cena kicked out of Ryder's Rough Rider finisher and beat him in about 4 minutes. Worse yet, Ryder finally got to show some offense and busted out a 450 flash, which no one is currently using in a losing effort. This is not to say that Ryder should have won. He shouldn't have. But if you wanted to do an angle with the cast of Entourage and Ryder, why not have Luke Harper and Eric Rowan tormenting them and Ryder coming to the rescue, having Cena win, and then give Zack a pity raise of the arm was just pointless. The ups. Number 6. WWE does Dallas. This is how Bo Dallas should have been booked all along. The smarmy heel, no one can stand attacking an injured wrestler while telling him that the pain will stop if you just believe. This would have been much more valuable to Bo's development than a winning streak. Bo clearly still is steaming over losing the NXT Championship to Neville and seeing Neville extend to even greater height in WWE in a much shorter span of time. This feud was born. It very well could end Sunday, but at least it makes sense and give both men something to do. Going forward, It would be great to see WWE continue to put its faith in Dallas to do more than be a human punching bag and actually win a few fights. Bo might not be as overly charismatic as his brother, but he definitely can captivate an audience. Number 5. Give Lana a chance. For months now, the WWE Diva division has been scrutinized for its poor match quality, lack of character development, and inferiority to NXT women's matches. Fans organically started a Twitter movement that WWE gleefully co-opted, hashtag Give Divas a Chance. The effort has led to longer matches and better storylines, but the Divas bout still pale in comparison to NXT. However, WWE took a step forward Monday night by having Lana emerge from Rusev's shadow. It wasn't just that they separated the two, but how they did it. Rusev begged and cajoled to get Lana to come down to the ring and agreed to reunite with him. But right from the get-go, Lana showed that she was an independent woman, first by not entering the ring through the ropes Rusev parted, and then by not giving in to his demand that she apologize for throwing in the towel at Payback in the I Quit match. What made this stand out from previous breakup was that Lana did it on her own and strongly. She stood face to face with Rusev and told him off, saying she wasn't going to be his victim and calling him a caveman before leaving on her own. Dolph Ziggler didn't appear until after she had told him off, and he wasn't there to save her, but to egg Rusev on. 5 years ago, Ziggler would have been the white knight in shining armor. Monday he was arm candy for the ravaging Russian. That's how you book a strong female and give divas a chance. Number 4. Rusev shows some depth. Just as Lana came out of Monday's segment looking strong, Rusev also emerged looking more three-dimensional than he had during his entire WWE career. Rusev appeared desperate to keep Lana, but too proud to let things slide. He wasn't solely the simple-minded, abusive heel, although he did tell her he owned her, but a man who seemed aware of his shortcomings, yet unable to change. A big development with Rusev losing Lana is that rather than just spinning her off from him, and he continued on his way, Rusev is clearly upset about losing her and would love to reunite with her. That is a weakness we don't see from heels, especially foreign heels, which are typically so one-dimensional very often. If WWE is able to walk the tightrope with Rusev, they could have a more well-rounded character than simply the angry, abusive foreign heel. The fact that Rusev carried his half of the promo segment bode well for his future. Number 3. Owens is a big deal. WWE is going all in on making Kevin Owens look like a killer. He could have debuted a few months from now, destroying Zack Ryder or even Dolph Ziggler, but instead, Owens has targeted the biggest dog in the yard and taken him down twice. Despite making his first appearance on Raw last week, Owens got a video package to really explain who he is Monday night. Perhaps the biggest indicator that WWE is taking Owens seriously is that John Cena basically tried to channel the Cena hater into chanting "Fight Owens Fight" at him rather than "Cena suck." Cena has long acknowledged the fans who boo him, but it's often is in a joking, almost dismissive way. Monday he not only acknowledged them, but he noted that Owen is their avatar of the month and could very well be one of the most serious ones to date. The fact that Sunday's match is being billed as a non-title champion versus champion match means that the result is wide open. In some ways, WWE could have been really bold and book a US Championship match, have Owen win and make Cena have to go to NXT to win the title back. Perhaps that still is in the card. Number 2, Stone Cold Dean Ambrose. The more the spotlight is put on Dean Ambrose, the more fans can make comparison to another popular anti-hero, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like the rattlesnake, Ambrose had an uncanny magnetism about the way he carried himself that resonates with fans. He the Flint and will march right into a ring full of enemies, just because he might get beat down, but he'll go down swinging, and then he'll get up and swing some more. But Monday we saw Ambrose channel his inner Stone Cold as he got arrested, then with moment to spare to sign the contract for his WWE World Heavyweight Championship title match. Commander deals a police paddy wagon and returned to the arena. All the while, the authorities did everything in their power to officially hold Ambrose down, much like Vince McMahon used to do with Austin. Ambrose probably won't emerge victorious Sunday, but this mini feud should show WWE brass that they should not write Dean off as simply flavor of the month or mid-card geek. He has some legitimate stand power and the company would be foolish to ignore that. And number 1, Reigns provide backup. If you have regularly watched WWE through the years, one of the biggest complaints that you could lodge is how the faces rarely have each other back. It only seems like doing events such as Survivor Series when they teaming together that good guys will watch out for each other against a central heel threat. Even then, it tends to be limited to when both guys have a vested interest in helping out. Case in point, look at John Cena. He just finished feuding with Rusev, who assaulted Dolph Ziggler on Raw. Ziggler was the hero of Team Cena at Survivor Series, and they formed a pretty decent bond during that period. But Mr. Hustle, loyalty, and respect was nowhere to be seen Monday. Same goes for anyone helping Cena out from invading Kevin Owens. On the other hand, you have Roman Reigns coming out not once but twice to help his brother, Dean Ambrose, secure a WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, a title match that Reigns could contend should be his since he never got a one-on-one bout against Seth Rollins. That kind of selfless act is something you don't see in WWE very often. It's almost genuine to see Reigns as a sidekick providing backup, but going by crowd reaction alone, that is exactly what you expect. And if it helped buy Roman some goodwill with fans while using common sense to defeat a powerful faction, then so be it. Just don't be surprised when WWE force a role reversal down the line. Well, that's it, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See you guys on the next one. Peace.